Keep shoving.
It's time to breathe again on the latest Breath of Fresh Air webcast streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So you see Patrick, you see me, Charles, and here we go, Patrick. Latest college football review and preview. What games caught your eye from last week?
Give me a second. So, you got me?
I got you now.
Okay. What did I tell you about Tennessee? I said the next Tennessee, they're probably going to hang 60 on him. 66. Good saying.
Yep. Definitely no hangover.
Yeah. The Arkansas game, dude. What a defensive game plan Arkansas came with, dude. It was phenomenal. The fact that they only held, I mean, granted, they lost, but and they had such a good defensive game plan going against them. And I mean, all the sacks, dude. I think what they end up with? Like 9?
It was somewhere between 6 and 10. I mean, both of the defenses were playing pretty well there.
Mm-hmm. It was up there. How about, hey, shout out to Vandy, man.
I know.
Right? Shout out to Vandy.
Probably not feeling too good if you're in Lexington. But yeah, shout out to Vandy.
Hey, you know what? You gotta shout out to Vandy, man. They ended 26 SEC game skid.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Vandy. How about Navy coming back to Notre Dame?
Yeah, almost got that win. Almost. Notre Dame didn't score in the second half either.
I know, right? I was very impressed with. I mean, it's like they just couldn't execute what they wanted to execute in the first half, and then all of a sudden, whatever happened. I don't know what it was. Purdue beating Illinois.
Does anybody want the Big Ten West?
That's what I was wondering. Because when Illinois lost, I was like, does anybody even care to win? It's like, it's like, oh yeah, I want that. No, I don't. You take it. And they're like, no, you take it. And Illinois is like, you know what? I'll take it. Wait, hold on. No, I don't want it. Never mind. Just never mind.
I mean, hey, if Purdue ends up getting in there, I'll be happy for them. That's what my nephew would too. So if they get in there, I mean, I guess whoever will get blasted by Ohio State and Michigan, but
which is probably going to be Michigan because I got Michigan. Spoiler alert for next week.
Are you going to be here next week?
Yeah, I'll be here next week.
Okay.
It'll be the week after I'm not going to be here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because that's actually my wife's birthday.
That's right. Yep, you told me.
Yeah. What was the other one? What the hell happened to all my stuff? Jesus. Oh, Alabama, Arkansas. Or I'm sorry, Alabama, Mississippi. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss just can't.
They didn't finish.
Yeah, can't finish. They got our syndrome. They got the Texas syndrome.
Yeah. They got all of it. What was the other? And there was just like a couple more. A good call on the UCF game, which I know we're gonna go over that in just a minute. Hey, TCU, man, they played. I mean, it was a hard fought on both ends, and TCU didn't throw up their normal. I'll tell you that, but neither did Texas. That was a good game. I mean, they played very well. Texas was playing all over the field. You could tell that they weren't exhausted this time. They just played football. So good for them on that. North Carolina beating Wake Forest, and then who was it? Oh, FSU slaughtering Syracuse, dude.
Yeah, Syracuse is going into a swoon.
It's like they just fell off a cliff, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. After they beat NC State, I was like, well,
yeah.
I don't know, because every time I look at them, I'm like, yeah, I want to pick you, but what you gonna do?
They haven't been the same since they lost that game at Clemson. They came so close to bringing that upset, and they have excuse me. Oh, yeah, had a burp. Sorry, and they haven't won since.
Yeah, so it's been a hard road for them.
Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, any more before?
Nope, that's it.
All right, man. I think you missed one, Patrick. Washington and Oregon. Washington won that game.
Oh yeah. Well, I knew you were going to go over it, so it was.
Oh, well, you pointed out that.
I should have brought it up because they did play in Oregon and they went into Oregon and beat them.
I mean, Patrick, you pointed out the other ones. You might as well have pointed out Washington and Oregon.
Yeah, I should have.
But that one and UCLA, what a terrible loss to Arizona. That is awful. Right. So they drop in the standings, messing up their chances to get into the playoff, and Oregon did the same. We're going to talk more about coaching blunders later on in the show, because on both ends, college football and the NFL, I don't know what the hell is going on with some of these decisions. And people are going to be quick to blame analytics. No, you need to blame the people who are interpreting these analytics, which, of course, and I'll say it again, fancy word for statistics. I'll say more about that in a little bit for the game. Because that's how they are. It's just they're statistics. But you pointed out Minnesota, Mississippi, and Alabama there. Again, Ole Miss just cannot finish. I don't understand the play calling. Some more sketchy play calling by Lane Kiffin and them. I don't understand why you're in 3rd and 4th and longs and you're trying to run QB draws.
So, I was wondering the same thing. I mean, it was like you in that second quarter, dude. Lane Kiffin was in Saban's head, dude.
Well, I think in the first half, there was some good. They had Alabama a little bit off balance, but Nick Saban and Alabama, they will make halftime adjustments. And out of all people, Kiffin should know that. Out of all people, you can't do the same thing over and over again and expect that to work on Alabama, unless you do have an offense like Tennessee's or particularly like LSU's, and you just have receivers who can go down the field, or at least in this particular year, it can happen. But he just didn't make any adjustments, and Alabama just geared up against the run and had to force their quarterback Dart to throw, and he couldn't throw consistently enough against them. So props to Alabama there. You pointed out North Carolina winning a tough one in Wake Forest. The UCF Tulane game, that was pretty good. I mean, UCF jumped out to a big lead. Tulane tried to fight back, but they just couldn't stop UCF's running game.
They couldn't stop.
And the quarterback was their leading rusher.
Yeah, and that was very. It was very. UCF all season. Like, they have not ran it that well all season. That's what got me, and I was like, man, they are just, Tulane was ready for them. As far as throwing, they didn't get anything. But man, it was just. I mean, what was the longest run from scrimmage? It was like several of them over 20 yards.
Well, I know the quarterback broke off a 65, 70-yard touchdown run. I don't know.
Okay, so that was the longest one. I didn't watch all of it. I did remember them saying about that run, but I didn't watch it all.
What's his name? Plumlee. Plumlee is his last name. He broke off, like a 65, 70-yard run in the second quarter, I believe. But yeah, they couldn't. They couldn't stop the run. UCF played big boy ball with them, really.
Yeah. and played very well played very well with them.
Mm-hmm. But you pointed out Notre Dame and Navy. What was there was another one. Oh yeah, and TCU and Texas is a very good defensive struggle. It was 0-0 in that game for the longest, and both offenses can put out some points. Yeah, give TCU credit to be able to stop, and they shut down Bijan Robinson and the running game. And
yeah,
now the one thing I will say about that with Texas and the play calling, and I mean play calling seems to be a good theme for this show. It's a ridiculous show, but I understand TCU is having success stopping Bijan Robinson. He's got to get more than 12, 13 carries. You can't. You at least touches. I don't care if you throw it to him in the screen game, swing pass, something. He has to get more attempts than what he got. He's a playmaking running back, break off big runs. He's good in the passing game as well. You have to find a way to get more touches for him. And another thing, if the running game's not going well, you can't continue to throw the ball down the field with an inaccurate quarterback. Quinn Ewers right now is really inaccurate. He can't hit a deep ball at all. Not close. And
not like he was against Alabama. He has not. After that, he has not really been the same.
Yeah, it's just been almost a fall off the cliff drop off in that department. And so if you are Steve Sarkisian and you're seeing this, you have to give your quarterback some easier throws.
Yeah,
a quick hitch, just something, a slant, something in the middle. You have to give him something because you have to get the quarterback comfortable again. And I think it was either a run to Bijan Robinson or a deep pass or attempted pass to Xavier Worthy. You're not going to beat TCU that way. You have to be more diverse with the play calling. And I don't think it's Sarkisian. He's supposed to be a good play caller, but so
he struggled. He struggled on Saturday.
Yeah. So frustrating as a Texas fan. It's all right. I get Georgia. Give Georgia some credit here because coming off of the big win against Tennessee, you go to Starkville. Now, I remember having this conversation with Bear. Both you and I know Bear. Every conference,
LSU Bear or Alabama Bear?
Both.
Okay. Does he ever watch the show anymore? Because he was very rarely.
Yeah, he hasn't since, I don't know, I guess since we were mean. And since y'all won the national championship, really haven't heard too much from him. They're mighty quiet over there. I guess I'll take a look at it sometimes. I don't really ask him about it too much because I know he's kind of a sore loser. So.
And that's the fact that they ain't even in the playoffs for the first time, and
he disappeared.
Right. I know, seen him for a while, huh?
Yeah, fair weather fan, man. You know how it goes. But I had this conversation with him about conference games, and every conference has a spot that is just a weird spot. And no matter what, it's probably going to be a tough game. Every conference has that spot. Mm-hmm. For the SEC, it's probably Starkville. It's probably going to Mississippi State, cowbells ringing. It's just one of those weird spots. And the college is the only thing that's in the town. So when the games are there, the crowd is going to be rowdy no matter what.
Yeah, and they're there for the entire game.
Yeah.
Win or lose.
Yeah. So for Georgia to come in there and handle business like they were able to do, I just think that just continues to show the maturity of Georgia, understanding, hey, they are going to be the hunted now. And they might look at themselves still as the hunters. And I get that. But with them being the defending national champions, that bullseye is going to be on the back no matter where they go. You're going to see it again when you go to Lexington this Saturday. So it's going to be just one of those things where you just have to just continue to stack wins, handle your business. And so I think from a maturity standpoint, and you can go with LSU there too, because you knew that was going to be a tough game in Arkansas. It's a rivalry game. Golden Boot is on the line in that game.
Always on the line.
Yep. So for those two to handle the business after some big wins, of course, LSU beat Alabama last week. So for them to be able to handle their business and continue to roll, not get tripped up, at least for this week, it's the showing maturity on the part of those teams. Oh,
and shout out to LSU and Georgia for winning their respected sides of the conference.
Yep, absolutely. They will be meeting in Atlanta for the SEC championship game.
Mm-hmm. And then I do have to say something while we're on that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I gotta say something. Brian Kelly, tip my hat to you, sir. I don't know how you did it. Coming in first year, win the SEC West. Congratulations. Good job.
So I didn't know what way, and you remember me saying this, I didn't know what direction it was going to go. It had the potential to go like this, but it would also have the potential to go way, way left.
Off cliff.
Because he can coach. The man can coach. Whether or not, I mean, I still think he's pompous. I think he's a jerk still, but he can coach. He's been successful everywhere he's been. And like we were talking about last week, Patrick, something hit him, I think, to say, I need to stop with the fake stuff. I need to stop trying to have this fake Southern accent. I need to stop twerking on players. I need to stop trying so hard to bring myself into the Southern culture. Like I said, in the South, you get pointed out. If you're fake, you will get pointed out. There's a certain level of authenticity there in the South. I personally don't think you really get in the other regions. And I'm not trying to talk mess about the other regions. I'm not trying to talk mess toward the West Coast, the Midwest, the Northeast, none of that. But in the South, there's a certain amount of authenticity there where if you're going to try to be fake with it, you're going to get caught. You're going to get pointed out, and you're quickly going to lose. You're going to lose your flavor. You're going to lose it. And you're going to go out of style. So I think he just said, let me just settle down, let me coach, start to bring this team together, and he was able to get the message across. And I know who it really does not look good for now that LSU is going to the conference championship game. Jimbo Fisher, my goodness. That contract is getting worse and worse and worse right now.
And honestly, Texas A&M has no choice but to ride with this guy. I mean, because he's got $89 million guaranteed. So fire him. He's like, fire me. I'm good.
So real quick, Patrick, before we get to the preview, his buyout. If A&M said we're buying you out, you're gone, you're not getting us where we thought you would go. It's halfway past this 10-year contract they signed him to. Mm-hmm. If they were to buy him out, that's an $86 million buyout. $86 million.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what it was. I thought it was 89, but 86.
Yep. 86. If the contract finishes out, I think it's something over $90 million that's guaranteed still coming to him. But it would cost them 86 to buy him out. Do you realize that is more than what it would cost Texas and Oklahoma to buy out of their contract with the Big 12 to go to the SEC?
It is after this year. Yeah, absolutely.
That is crazy, dude. Yeah. This contract is more than whole colleges trying to move conferences.
It was funny because I was looking that up and I actually saw it on one of the games. They were like, yeah, it was crazy because they were talking about Jimbo Fisher and if, A&M wanted to get out of it. And they were like, there's only one other coach that's even more than him. And then the thing popped up and it was Kirby Smart, $120 million. I was like, my God. I mean, he ain't going nowhere, but God. I was like, $120 million? I was like,
yeah. That's wild.
Big money, bro.
Wild. But Kirby Smart right now, worth every penny of it right now, man. So if somebody is going to be worth that much, it would be Kirby Smart right now. He's the
only one, and Brian Kelly. Hell, we got to put him on there for something right now because
he did something in his first year that Jimbo Fisher has not done in 5 years there, and both of them were brought in to do the same thing: compete with Alabama, get into the SEC championship game, and compete for conference titles and possibly do college football play. And A&M has not even been close. So as a matter of fact, Patrick, they're not even going to be bowl eligible this year. They lost to Auburn last week, and they're 3-7. They won't be bowl eligible,
bro. But they didn't win their conference just a couple of years ago when they beat Alabama and Alabama only.
There's other teams in the conference. I guess someone forgot.
You gotta be a smart ass every now and then.
Yeah. Well, Patrick, before we jump into the preview.
Oh my God, I really don't even want to see it.
All right, yeah. Let me point out the record. No, Patrick, we got to be fair about this. Gotta do it, Patrick. Gotta do it, man. Hey, and look, it pays me. I didn't do too much better. I was just one game below.
2 and 3. Is that what you did? 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Yes. Here we go. So yes, I was 2 and 3, and you were 1 and 4. Sorry, Patrick. That puts me up ahead by a game. So just to go through the games real quick, we both got the Pac-12 game wrong, which was Washington and Oregon. Both said Oregon would win. In the Big Ten, we didn't pick one because there was no games worthy really in the Big Ten. So that was our bonus pick, or our live editing pick, with Central Florida and Tulane. And that's the one I got right. That's the one that put me over the top. And then for the Big 12, we both missed Texas and TCU. We both got in North Carolina and Wake Forest in the ACC, and we both had Mississippi beating Alabama. Of course, that one got wrong. So there you see the records. I was 2 and 3 last week. Patrick was 1 and 4. Sorry, Patrick, again. And overall, he's 29-15. I'm 30 and 14. So I got a game up on him. Let's see how it goes this week. So, Patrick,
you ready for some live editing this week too?
Let's get it, dude.
Because the ACC sucks this week.
No. Oh shoot! Well, so before we get to the live editing part, what's your Pac-12 game? We'll just continue to go in order from.
Well, this is the crazy thing. I got 2 games in the Pac-12.
Okay.
So there's our live editing right off the bat. Let's do it, right?
Let's go.
So my first game is Utah and Oregon. I want to see how Oregon bounces back after taking that loss, because everybody was raging on Oregon. Oh man, and obviously they're going to drop here in about 30 minutes. But
hey, Patrick, before you go on, I'm sorry about that. You just gave me a reminder. So those of y'all who are in there in here watching the show, we're probably going to run a little bit long because those college football playoff rankings are coming on till 8 Central, 9 Eastern. So we'll stay on and we'll see how the rankings break out, and then we'll break them down and give our analysis about it afterwards. So you get a little bit of bonus stuff, and we might ad-lib, so there's no telling what might come up. Just be ready.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I want to see how Oregon bounces back after that loss. I want to see. And Utah is, well, they've handled business for the past couple of weeks. So let's see. I want to see how Oregon bounces back. That's my main concern, because they have talked about Oregon and that offense being like, oh, I would love to see Oregon play Georgia again, because I don't think the outcome will be the same. And I'm like, may not be the same, but Georgia will still win. And I do feel good about that, because I think Georgia is the better team. But Oregon has been firing like that's been a phenomenal offensive team until last week. So what happened? Are they going to get that fixed, or are we going to see a little bit more of the same backyard Bo like we saw last week, who couldn't throw the ball for crap?
Dude, Bo actually played pretty good. The defense could not stop Washington, though.
Well, I mean, Bo made some bad plays. I mean,
he had a few. He did.
And he hadn't done that since Georgia. He has been spot on every play, every week until last week. And you say it. I mean, you say it better than anybody. Backyard Bo. Is he going to put it all on his shoulders and try to win the game, or is he going to play football the way he has been? There's a couple of times he tried to put it on his shoulders and try to win the game, and he couldn't. And like you said, that Washington defense was just stellar against them. They were. I mean, they had the answer for Bo and forced him into doing things that Bo hasn't done in quite some time. So that's my Pac-12 pick. I do think they will, and I got Oregon over Utah, 30-27.
All right. I am gonna go Utah here because I got to see Oregon beat Utah because Utah's been housing them the last few times they have played. Now, a little different here. This game will be in Oregon. But man, Utah has just been more physical. They've just beaten Oregon up, and I don't really see Oregon flipping that around, or at least not initially. So this will be one of the games, Patrick, where you have a chance to tie me up. So I'm gonna pick Utah, and I think Utah's going to win. Let's go 34-27. 34-27.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think Utah is kind of in that mode right now where they're playing like their physical self. They kind of got right in that game against USC, and they really haven't looked back since. Now, of course, big game here. Pac-12's kind of jumbled up there at the top. With Washington's win, Washington's in that mix too. So that's what that win kind of did. It brought some people down to the pack. But yeah, I think Utah, they're looking at it. They got an opportunity to get in here. I think they're going to take advantage of it. And plus, they are the defending Pac-12 champs, so they want to go ahead and look that step.
Yeah, and I get all of that, but I do think Oregon is all about playing spoiler this week. They're like, we got beat last week. What's that?
I mean, they can still get in themselves.
Yeah, but I think they want to spoil it and get in, is what I think. And don't get me wrong, a loss this late in the season, I think they could have bounced back. They were bouncing back from that game one loss. Losing this late in the season, it's really hard. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're out, but I'm really going to say that they're that high 80% chance of getting in is now somewhere in the teens, maybe in the early 20s, but late teens. I really think that their option or their chance of getting in has really thinned out a lot with that loss. Yep. And Washington, like you said, is just playing phenomenal. And then my second game is USC versus UCLA. And I'm just going to, I mean, look, I don't like USC. I don't. I mean, I don't know, call me biased. I mean, I haven't liked USC since, I don't know, maybe the day I was born. I don't know, maybe. But, I mean, that Lincoln Riley offense, man, it just, to me, it can be beat. And I see UCLA win the game. I'm going to say 35-24.
So I agree with you there. Although UCLA, that was a bad loss. Bad loss to Arizona. And then looked like they were probably looking ahead to USC a little bit.
I think they were. They didn't play offense or defense.
It's just they were very lackadaisical performance. So I expect Chip Kelly and them to be ready for this all Los Angeles battle that is coming up. And I'm with you. I think UCLA can win this game as well. I just don't think USC is that good. I think they've just kind of loaded up on inferior opponents, and everybody's talking about Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams should go up for the Heisman. And I just don't really think the competition is played, even within the conference. really hadn't been that good. And they had USC, they hadn't had to see Oregon, they hadn't had to see Washington. They lost to Utah. So I mean, I don't think USC is that good. So USC, to me, they just have to show me that they could do this against a better opponent. And I don't think it starts this week. And you're basically seeing the typical Lincoln Riley team.
Yep.
You're going to have good offense, but
100% agree.
Yeah, they're going to have good offense, but they can't stop anybody on defense unless it's a really inferior opponent. So I think this is the week all that catches up with them. And I'm with you. I got UCLA. I think it'll be a little bit, probably it'll be higher scoring because neither team is playing defense all that well. So I'll probably go 41-38.
Yeah, you're going up there. You're definitely going over the over.
Yes, I will definitely take the over on this one. But yeah, UCLA pulls it out. Yeah, so I agree with that.
What's our next conference?
Gosh.
Big Ten?
Yeah, can you find anything in the Big Ten?
I mean, kind of feel bad for them. Go no, but yeah, I guess. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, the ACC's games were just so horrible this week. I'll give the Big Ten a game this week because at least they got a ranked game going on, and I'm going with the Illinois-Michigan game. I mean, obviously, we're both gonna pick Michigan. That running offense against this Illinois defense, it's gonna be horrendous. I think Michigan, handles business. I mean, like I said, I didn't really want to pick, but I could have picked 5 games out of the SEC that would have been much better than this game. You know what I mean? And
it's basically tune-up week central for SEC this week.
Yeah, exactly. So, and honestly, I was thinking about not even picking one out of the SEC, but I was like, well, the ACC is much worse. I mean, nothing is going on in the ACC. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the Big Ten, and we'll give them the game. But I got Michigan handling. I got Michigan handling business. 42-10.
Yeah, I was gonna go 37-10. I was because Illinois is. I don't see them scoring too much on Michigan's defense, and the running game for Michigan is just it's strong, really really strong, to the point where they can pretty much run the ball on anybody in the country, except a couple of SEC defenses. But pretty much everybody else, Michigan can run the ball on them at will, and Illinois is not any different. So 37 is what I got for that game. Michigan rolling.
So this is so Big 12. Go ahead and move to Big 12.
Yes.
This one I had a couple of games I was going to go with. Because that Oklahoma State, I think is going to, that one's always a good game. You know what I mean?
Bedlam.
What's that?
That's what it's called. It's called Bedlam.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't go with that game though. I have been thinking about it, but I wanted to go with a little bit more of a. This one's really not a ranked game per se. But the schedule or the record is very even, and I'm going with the Texas and Kansas game.
I figured you would. Go ahead.
Well, the reason why I'm going with this game is not necessarily because of the record, and not necessarily because Texas is ranked 18th and Kansas is up there. And what I'm really looking for out of this game is a bounce back from Texas, right? And the way they got not necessarily handled, because it was a good game against TCU. It really was a good game. Both teams came prepared as they could be, all right? But you could see that hurt, or that loss hurt Texas. Like, even if they would have lost against Kansas State, I don't think that loss would have hurt near as bad as this one, right? This one hurt. And I think the way Stark got somewhat outcoached, and I don't really want to say that. I say that loosely because he really didn't get like outcoached. He just had, there was just certain things that just would not work out for Texas, right? I want to see that. I want to see how he reacts to that because he's used to Robinson getting his way down the field or running down the field. Does he get that opportunity again, right? So I'm going to go with this one, and I do have Texas winning this one. Again, yes, I do have Texas winning. I do think they go in and they go in and finish. I think Robinson this is his bounce back game. I think he does run the ball like crazy this week, and I got Texas winning. I'll go 38-30.
I got my trash can right by me. I've been throwing up a lot because of these Texas results that's been coming to me. And we just mentioned Jimbo Fisher and how the coaching has not been up to par. But meanwhile, you have a guy in LSU and Brian Kelly, first year, got him going to the SEC championship game. It's the same thing with Stark right now. Now, I think Stark is safe. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where Stark can get fired. And this is just his second year as well. So that's working for him also. But, man, Sonny Dykes is in his first year at TCU, and they're in the college football playoff conversation already. That does not look good for Stark. And so it is one of those things where the results, you have to start finishing. With that being said, I am with you with this game. I almost picked Kansas because the game is up there in Lawrence, and Kansas is playing Texas well every year. So for a while. Kansas is they're better. They are definitely improved from what we're used to seeing Kansas at. But I do think Texas will run the ball well. I think John Robinson, I'm with you. He has a bounce back game, and I think when Ewers can make enough throws. The defense, I think, can build from their performance also against ECU. Because, I mean, they held that offense to 17 points. So.
17.
Yeah, so.
It was not like beat down. They were ready to play.
Yeah, they were really ready to play, and they were getting after Max Duggan a lot. I mean, sacked him 5 or 6 times. They were playing really good. The defense showed up. Just the offense was not with it. And that's the thing with Texas, man. They can't get both sides of the ball quick. Yeah, one game.
They ever do.
Woo. Well, yeah, one game, it's the defense. Like when they played Alabama, defense played well, but the offense couldn't really score enough points there. The same thing happened with TCU. And then other games, hey, they scored 34, 35 points, 41 points in some cases, but the defense can't stop. So I see the offense actually having a pretty good game, and I think the defense will be all right. So I got, what was your score? 38-30?
38-30.
All right. I have, I think it would be somewhere in the high 20s, low 30s. I'm going 34-31. Yeah, we'll go 34-31. Yeah, 34-31 Texas. I think Texas will pull that.
34-31. Okay, I got you. Okay. SEC now?
Yes, because you're skipping the ACC.
Yeah, I'm skipping either of that.
All right.
That sucks this week. I'm going to go with Ole Miss and Arkansas. I think this is going to be a really good game. How well Arkansas played against LSU. This is huge for for building this program, right? Arkansas, for many years, like that breakout, right? And I think during that LSU game, they figured some stuff out, right? I think they figured some stuff out. And I'm not talking about the players on the field. I'm talking about the coaching staff. They figured something out. Because the way they played, and the way they got pressure, and the way they were doing things like very, and this is crazy, very Georgia-esque. Hiding blitzes, sending the corners, the way they were doing. I think that they've gotten an idea of something, right? And I think they're going to test it out, and I think they're going to really put some pressure on Ole Miss this week. And that being said, I still have Ole Miss winning, but I think Arkansas is at this point right now where they're like, well, we only got 3 more games of the season. We only got to win 1 to be a bowl eligible team. Let's try something. Let's just go against the grain of what we have been doing for the past 10 games. And let's try something. Because the way they were blitzing LSU last week was phenomenal. I mean, they had LSU. What's LSU's quarterback?
Jaden
Daniels. He was really kind of lost in a lot of those situations. Like, he didn't know where to go. I mean, he was getting blitzed up the middle. He was getting blitzed on the blind side. I mean, they were just sending almost every play. With that being said, though, I do think that Ole Miss does handle it. I don't think they escape very comfortably. I will go 27-24 Ole Miss, but I think Arkansas is. I think they're about to break out on something. I really do. But Ole Miss 27-24.
I'm going Arkansas because I think Ole Miss.
Oh, you're seeing it too, then?
Well, two reasons. Arkansas has the talent. As a matter of fact, I think this is a kind of a disappointing year for them because I had them right there with Bama, maybe competing and seeing if they can start pushing toward getting West Earth out of that division in the conference. But to me, this is a disappointing season. But the talent is there to still give you some issues. And I think that defense did take some steps. I think Ole Miss lost to Alabama, I think, hurts them. Really hurt. And this was that year where, hey, Ole Miss could get them. Like, Pippen been there, get them. They could knock Alabama off. They had them coming into Oxford, Grove, and this was a knockoff. And Alabama beat them. And it also knocked them out of any hope they had of making the SEC championship game. They still might be able to get into a New Year's Six bowl, but we'll just see how Mississippi recovers from there. I got Arkansas winning this game, man, and I think they're gonna win. Coming off of that defensive performance, I don't see too much difference from the offense they saw in LSU last week. They got a scrambling, running dual threat quarterback. Mississippi has some receivers. I think Arkansas can kind of shut them down. And like I said, I think they're starting to figure some things out. But yeah, I'm gonna go Arkansas here. I like it. And go 27-24.
This is that one game out of the 5. I'm like, I can see this one going either way, especially with what like Arkansas figuring it out. I don't know what it is yet, and I'm really anxious to see how they work the defense in this game. So I'm really interested in that defense right now.
All right, Patrick. Well, hey, let's move on to the NFL, and we'll come back to college when these rankings come out in about 15-20 minutes. Yep. But what games caught your eye in the pros?
Minnesota Buffalo. What a game, man.
Yeah, crazy.
What a game. It was so good, man. And John, I mean, dude, you could see Josh Allen when it was in overtime. He just sitting there with his head down. I was like, oh man, this better not be another playoff game where he's sitting there just anxious to get back on the field and he doesn't get his opportunity. You know what I mean? But he got his opportunity, and unfortunately, he did not make the best of it. Not with that bad throw.
Yeah, terrible throw.
It was a horrible throw. I was like, "Who are you throwing to?" I was like, "You have a white jersey on?" But hey, it was a fantastic game, and both of those defenses, man, both those defenses came to play. I know that score doesn't resemble a defensive game, but it just goes to show you how high-powered these offenses were. And I'm not a huge fan of Kirk Cousins by no means, but that guy played on another level on Sunday. He did. He played well. But yeah. And then the Detroit-Chicago game. I mean, I think Chicago had the lead for that entire game until the end.
They were up 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I was like, how? But I mean, I sat there and looked at. I said there. I can't say nothing about Justin Fields, man. How do you throw for 2 touchdowns, run for 2, have a fumble, and you still lose? I mean, like, you could tell he was really trying to do everything he could do. But it does stem, like, in that second half, those wide receivers got to catch the ball. They got to. I saw way too many drop balls. It just was not like. It was not. And then again, it could be because I haven't really watched the Chicago Bears this year, but it could be like their MO this year. But man, the wide receivers got to help Justin, man. They got to. Simple as that. Tennessee doing their normal dominance over Denver. Russell Wilson just cannot run that offense. Period.
Patrick, he's not that good.
I know. Yeah, and it's being made blatantly obvious. I mean, this dude cannot read defenses. Now, I'm not going to go out here and say, "Hey, he can't read defenses, and I'm better than he is." No, he's way better than me. But that's the reason why he's where he's at, and I'm where I'm at. And I can tell you that man is not reading defenses because he is not doing a good job.
Hey, remember, Patrick? Everybody was saying, "Let Russ cook. Let Russ cook." All right. You let him cook.
You like bones in your fish?
You're gonna get some burnt dishes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some burnt dishes.
And they're gonna run. It's gonna go the other way, like a pig.
You're gonna get some well done steak instead of medium.
Yeah. And I don't like well done.
Yeah.
So just saying. Hey, giving Matt Ryan the keys back to the car and letting him ride in Indianapolis. Hey. What can I say? Dude, the Dallas Green Bay game, that ended up being very good.
Hey,
Aaron Rodgers showed up. That was Aaron showed up.
So, Patrick, in
the second half he did.
So Patrick, I tried to make a deal with myself. I was not going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys at all this year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you never told me. See, I told you about the Falcons last year, and you never brought them up.
This was a deal in my head. I didn't tell anybody.
Oh, okay.
But since you brought them up, yes, definitely. Aaron showed up. You finally getting those the chemistry with those receivers, particularly Christian Watson, making those
right.
Doing those
4 catches for 3 touchdowns and 147 yards. What? Yeah, 4 catches.
And Dallas, remember, remember, Patrick, it's supposed to be the second coming of the Doomsday defense. 2 touchdown lead and you blow it. Man,
if you want to shoot yourself in the foot, Doomsday.
The second coming of the Doomsday defense. Give me a break. Overrated, overhyped Dallas Cowboys as usual. the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yep. And obviously, it's not mattering who's the head coach.
Right.
Arizona and LA. Hey, how about 4 different quarterbacks in a game?
Yeah, the starters were out for both teams. So you had Colt McCoy's side.
I haven't seen him in a while, man.
Yeah, I know, man. He's collecting checks still.
Hey, as long as they cash at the end of the week,
that's it.
Ride the bitch, baby.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. Good win for. Oh, excuse me. Good win for Arizona, though. Yep.
Your boys bounced back. Your boys looking good. Look good on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting healthier because we had a bye week last week, and we got some people back. Debo's back. Debo Samuel's back. Our fullback Juszczyk is back. Got some defensive players back. Jordan Willis came back. So that bye week came at the right time. So hopefully they can get on a good roll, and I think they're just as dangerous as anybody in a up for grabs NFC.
Yep. And Philly blowing their lead to Washington.
Hey, give Washington credit. Washington is not no crap team now because Washington, their record's at 5-5, but
they should be every bit of like
at least 7-3.
I say 8-2.
Yeah, because they should have. They had Minnesota down last week. Had them down, but Minnesota had a fourth quarter comeback. They had Tennessee down when they played them, and Tennessee was able to come back and win that one. So definitely at least 7-3. Those are the 2 games that stuck out for me in terms of where Washington could be. But again, NFC, Patrick, it's up for grabs, dude.
Yeah.
They're right where they need to be. And they just knocked off the last undefeated team in Philly. So,
in Philly, by the way. Yes, absolutely. And what was crazy, I wasn't really kind of surprised with the fact that Washington won. I was more surprised with the way Philly executed offense in the fourth quarter. Really didn't look good. I mean, several 3 and outs, man, and it just didn't look good for them in the fourth quarter.
Well, they hit a couple of big plays, but they turned it over. I mean, Philly was pretty sloppy with their ball security yesterday. I have to look this up. I'm not for sure on this, but I want to say they had just as many turnovers, if not more, last night as they had for the season. I mean, they have been really good. Not now. Again, I'd have to look that up. I mean, I'm not certain on that, but I know they have been very, very good about ball security. And so they had 3 or 4 giveaways yesterday in that game. So it was not a typical Philly game, but Washington's defensive line, when healthy, they are one of the best units out there. And they're going to get Chase Young back. Their offensive people are coming back. Terry McLaurin had a big game for them. Washington they're right there. They're in the mix because it's just nothing but parity in the league right now. So.
and it's almost anybody's. It's almost anybody. You can almost pick anybody. Close your eyes, throw a dart, and that team could win their division. So it's been a very interesting year.
What's your preview looking at?
Well, I'm kind of curious about the Tennessee-Green Bay game. Like Aaron Rodgers showing up last week. Is he going to continue that momentum going into the next week? And is that
Tennessee defense he's going against?
Very tough Tennessee defense. But is him and Christian like the go-to duo now? You know what I mean? Because like the way they just like were on the same page on Sunday, man, was just unreal for a rookie. You know what I mean? It was just unreal. I mean, you look at the fantasy stats, dude. He was like 7 times worth his weight in gold. And if you picked him, They expected him to throw up 6 points. He ended up throwing 36 points, bro. Yeah, I mean, did it. So, and he's very cheap right now. So you're better going to get him if you want him on the line. He's very cheap right now.
I mean, wait a minute. So you said they had him down for 6 points against Dallas's defense? I would have just gave him 15 points just because they're playing Dallas.
Put out of bed, bro, and I'll give you 15 points. You know what I'm saying? Put your helmet on. Just sit right over there, and I'll give you 10. Just sit over there. You got your bag packed? Good job, bro. High five. No, I mean, he did. It's just like through the first 9 games, 8 games, 10 games, or whatever it was.
I mean, he struggled. He has not looked good at all.
Struggled. Right. He hasn't been targeted, but maybe 4 times in a game, and he hasn't been caught but maybe 1 or 2 passes or something like that, something crazy. But yeah, he went off on him on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
4 catches. I want to remind you that 4 catches, 3 touchdowns for 147 yards, bro. He was targeted how many times? 4.
Yeah.
All 4 of his passes, 3 of them were for touchdowns for 147 yards. I'm just saying. We obviously see Philly will probably bounce back against their team that they play in those that Matt Ryan Colts that everybody was like, oh, Matt Ryan, he's the truth, and we're gonna make a playoff run. Okay.
Jeff Saturday, remember that? Coming straight off the hot take booth, get his first win against the Raiders.
I know, right?
The Raiders. Wow, what a! Oh,
and they struggled with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. How about the Raiders and the Broncos, bro? How about that one? Who's gonna push who to lose? That's all I'm saying.
The loser of that game, their coach might get fired.
I agree. Yeah, hell, even the winner of that game. This is what you had to play to get a win. You're going. You're out. Both of y'all on the hot seat. You're not even my boss. I don't care. You're both on the hot seat. This game, there should be some furniture moving in both of these organizations when this season is over. I mean, tons. Like Russell Wilson, think about retiring, bro. And then I think one of the good games is going to be that Dallas Minnesota game. I mean, so there's my preview.
Yeah, Minnesota. See how they keep the momentum going. That's a big win in Buffalo to come back from it. They were down 27-10, and were able to come back and pull that game out. Buffalo. I mean, you had the botch snap down there in the end zone by Josh Allen in the center there. It was a tough loss. That very tough loss for the Bills. But with the Vikings credit for hanging in there, and I think they'll beat Dallas too. I think you know how I feel about the Cowboys. I just don't think they're that good anyway. And then the Jets and Patriots, I think, is pretty interesting. Both teams are on a bye week. They're playing each other, and that is a huge game all of a sudden in the AFC East because of those 2 losses Buffalo has had. And you got Miami there, who's actually in first place in the division right now. So
they're in place by what, 1 game?
Half a game.
Half a game.
Yep.
I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah, half a game. And so they're sitting right there, and the Jets and Patriots have a chance to continue to stay right there in that race. So big game there. And you have one more. You pointed out the other one. There was one more that I was looking at. You know what? No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, because I think the other one seemed pretty cut and dry. I think the Bills should handle the Browns. The Ravens should handle the Panthers. Even though that, I mean, well, we don't know.
San Francisco, Arizona game.
Yeah, San Francisco should handle Arizona, but the game is kind of weird because that's going to be in Mexico City, so that's kind of a neutral site game there. We'll see how that goes. But it's just been a crazy year. Just when you think, hey, this is what's going to happen, nah, man, this year's been super crazy. Well, Patrick,
There's been 3 teams in the NFC South that have been in first place.
So Patrick, well, before we check out these rankings, which will be coming out, I guess, any minute now, the coaching decisions, man, have been horrible. I don't understand what's going on. These analytics, again, fancy word for statistics, but the people are looking at these numbers and these stats, and they're just making these decisions based off these stats. So I'm going to go with both of the both college football and NFL here, just to prove my point here. In the Washington-Oregon game in college, so Oregon took a 34-27 lead. Washington scored really quickly to tie that game at 34, and then Oregon, the coach Dan Lanning, who of course was your former defensive coordinator in Georgia, he decides to go for it on a 4th and 1 from their own 34. And they got stopped. And so you set Washington up for a field goal right there. Punt the football, dude. You didn't get the first down. You do not need to set it, because I get it. If you get it, then you get the first down. I know. High risk, high reward. I get that. But some of these are common sense. Kick the football. You did not get the first down. Get into overtime. But no, you're going to do no huddle at that. You're going to do a no huddle to try to get this first down, and you got stuffed. Horrible decision there. Buffalo and Minnesota. Horrible decisions by Sean McDermott. Give Minnesota credit for hanging in there and making the comeback. But when Buffalo was up by 10, they were up 27-17. It was a 4th and 2 from Minnesota's 5-6 yard line. You're up 10, Patrick. There's no reason. Yeah, kick the field goal. There's no reason for you to chase points. No reason. You're already up. You're up 10. There's no reason for you to try to go on this wild goose chase for more points. Just kick the field goal.
Either way the case may be, they still got to score 2 touchdowns.
Exactly.
That's what's blowing my mind. Like, right. So the Nick Saban call against LSU, right?
Yeah.
Why are you going to go for 2-point conversion when the extra point doesn't change the outcome, right? It may do it down the line, but what I don't understand is that if you're up by 1, I get it, right? But if you're up by 4, the 2-point conversion doesn't make sense to me. Either way the case may be, you still have to have a touchdown, right? That's what's throwing me off this year. Like, I get it. You just scored. Now it's 31-30, right? Let's go for the extra 2 points because that makes it a field goal game. I get it, right? At that point, I don't mind the call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're up after the touchdown, it makes it 34-30, and you try for a 2-point conversion that just makes you up by 6. Guess what? Whether you're up by 4 or whether you're up by 6, a touchdown puts you in the lead. Just go up by 5. Just go up by 5, because even if they score a touchdown, you can still come back and hit a field goal and win. It drives me crazy. It's been driving me crazy all year, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the other coaching decisions that are going on through, I think last week, I guess the week before, Texas Tech was playing TCU, and their coach was going for it on every 4th down in their own territory.
Yeah.
And
didn't go like 1 for 7 in 4th downs.
Yeah, it was bad. It just not a good percentage. I'll put it that way.
At all.
And I think you just there's a part of you The coaches cannot find the balance, Patrick. Remember back in the day, we would talk about how conservative the coaches are. And now everybody wants to try to set this tone. We're going to be aggressive and we're going to go for it every single time. Okay, I understand you want to be more aggressive, but at the same time, we have to be sensible about this. You have to look at some calculated risk here. Like you said, if you're up 4 and you're trying to go for this 2 to go up 6, like you say, you still need a touchdown to win. I get the numbers will say, well, if they score a touchdown, they still got to kick the extra point to make it, and they think it happen on the extra point. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand the numbers. I think you have to have a feel for it. Numbers can't tell you that.
Like Brian Kelly.
Yeah, numbers cannot qualify for the identity of the game. It is up to the coaches and the players to capture that. And that's where those decisions, I think, have to come in. When you start to let the numbers dictate the way you are coaching, you need to step away. You need to get fired. And again, I've said it for baseball many times. Go ahead, bring a stat nerd. That no disrespect to the nerds. I love the nerds.
Right.
I'm a closet geek myself. So and so you got just have a computer down there. If that's what you're gonna go off of, if you're just gonna go off of numbers and stats all the time, then just have that down there on the sideline. You can take your place. You go home.
Yeah.
You know. And
from the velocity of my spin rate, how far can I throw a football to get a touchdown? Computer's like, look, bro, just go play the game.
You're right.
I don't know what the problem is.
It's crazy, man. I don't understand some of these coaches, and it seems like it happens every week, like you said, where you're sitting here and you see a few of these coaching decisions. You're thinking, why? Why? What was the point?
It just doesn't make sense based on what you're looking at. I mean, it drove me crazy, and that's when I really started. Was when I noticed Nick Saban doing it against LSU. I was like, man, that's weird. I'm starting to see this a lot.
And that's not even like Nick Saban. You know, like Nick Saban is not going to do that.
Give me the point. We'll figure it out with 3 minutes left in the game. We'll make a decision then. Give me the points that I need so that I can make my educated decision down the line. Because truthfully, if he goes for the extra points opposed to the 2-point conversion, guess what? He wins that game 28-27.
Well, yeah, it doesn't get to overtime.
It doesn't get to overtime. That's for one, and he wins the game by 1 or 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what threw me off, was the fact that these coaches just keep doing, and it's crazy because it's happening in both leagues, like you were saying. It's happening in both leagues, college and NFL. It's just like all of a sudden everybody just is like, we're chasing points this year. What do you mean we're chasing points? Well, we're going to chase points. Okay. Are you not thinking about what you're doing? No, we're going to chase points. Okay. And the offensive coordinator's like, okay. Are you going to fire me? No. Okay. We'll chase as many points you want. How many points you want? 400? We're shooting for it. 4th down. Conversion. What do we got? 4th and 25 on my own 10? Run it. And then the plays, and then the play calling. Holy cow. I saw one game where it was 4th and 1. I don't remember who it was. It was 4th and 1. They rushed, they put the offense out on the field. He's going to go for it, offensive offsides. 4th and 5, or 4th and 6. The next play, offensive side. 4th and 11, and they ran the running back out of the backfield. Just a little toss, lost 3 yards. Now it's 1st and 10 going the other way, and they were on their on 30.
Yeah, see, and if you're gonna go for it, at least have a good play call. That's the best you can do.
It would have been fine on 4th and 1. But it's like after the 2 penalties, they still ran the same play.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta change it now. I was like, look, bro, look, I don't care. I don't care who you are. 4th and 11 on your own 30. Recipe for disaster. Stop chasing the points, coaches. Put the points on the board that's in front of you. I just tell my kids like all the time, and this is a like schoolwork kind of thing. My kids start trying to get all fancy with math, and I'm like, stop. Just do the math in front of you. Don't try to get fancy with it. Just do the math in front of you. Right? That's it. They're like, well, do the math in front of you. Look, coaches, do the coaching in front of you. Like you were saying, fill the game out. Look, the best call I've seen all year it was Brian Kelly. I would have made that play. I would have made that call. I would have been like, look, we either winning or losing. We're going to win or lose it right here on this play. So You want to win? Go and execute. You want to lose? Go out and don't execute. But we're going to win or lose on this play right here. Nick, good luck.
Yeah.
And I don't care what Nick Saban said. He saw it coming. He even called a timeout. And then he wanted to get on the press conference and be like, I didn't think they were going to go for it. Bro, you called a timeout. And you still didn't see it coming?
Well, I think I want to say what he meant by that was he was maybe initially you were surprised. Maybe initially you're looking at LSU scored this touchdown off that long run by Jaden Daniels, and you're thinking, hey, they are going to kick this extra point, tie it up. We'll go to a second overtime. LSU was going to get the ball first in that second overtime if it got that far. So I can understand him being surprised from there. But once you saw the offense on there, now
that's my point, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe initially. Okay. But bro, you called a timeout.
Yep.
You knew it was coming. And then when they rested back on the field, you would go, whoa. They put an offense back on the field. Come on, Nick. I'll throw a flag on that one. We need to watch the replay. I'll throw the flag on that one.
All right. Yeah, so we're still waiting for these college football playoff rankings to come out. Everything I can see, I guess that game between Kentucky and Michigan State in basketball still going on. 15 seconds left, I guess, in the second half. Kentucky's up 61-60. So, I guess after that, they will come on there and, hey, we will be on here until the rankings.
Hey, well, then while we're waiting, how about them Hawks? Hey, Bucks who?
Okay.
Hey, we're quietly yet still making some noise. Hey, we're in third.
You know, it's kind of a weird season right now because over in the West, you got Utah and Denver and Portland on top. And so,
yeah, I know. I saw that and I was looking at it. And I was like, Portland.
Yeah, Portland. You gave it the dookie look.
I pulled it up over here and I was like, that's what I made that look for because I'm like, Portland. What the hell was that? Yeah, that's why I made that face.
No, man, Atlanta. So to me, and I know we talked about it briefly when the season was about to start, but Atlanta and Cleveland, those two teams, with what they had, those additions they made, that puts them right there in the mid. Now, I would still have Milwaukee and Boston kind of that upper tier in the Eastern Conference.
Absolutely.
But I think Atlanta
definitely make some waves.
Yeah, they can make some waves. And like you look at what Atlanta has now with DeJounte Murray coming over there in that trade. You put him with Trae Young. That's a very dynamic backcourt. And They still have Collins. Think they still they still have Bogdanovich, right?
No.
Okay, yeah, it's Herter.
No, they got Herter. No, Herter's gone.
Herter went to Sacramento, I believe.
Yeah.
And so they still got Bogdanovich. They still have those shooters around there. Still got Capella catching alley-oop. So,
but Bogdanovich he's out. That's the reason why I was like, wait, hold on, I hadn't seen him, but he's out for an injury.
Okay.
And he's been out for.
So they're going to get him back, and so that's going to spread the court even more. So Atlanta looks to be really dangerous going forward. And Cleveland, getting Donovan Mitchell and you're pairing him with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, that's really dangerous. And Karis LeVert is playing good for them too. Cleveland has a squad that they can really get behind, and hopefully, so here's the hope for Cleveland. Hopefully they don't let LeBron come on back and play with his son, and so then they just blow that whole team up. Then they're gonna have to start over. Coming home, part 3. I'm
coming home, baby. I'm coming home.
Hopefully, Cleveland shuts that door.
I hope
your
so.
Young players. So look, that's the past. Let that go. Don't
let it stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know, go and look at the Lakers right now. That gives me enough to say I'm good.
Yeah, that's worse than a dumpster fire. I mean, that is landfill. Just
when does his son start playing next year?
So I think next year he can go to college. I want to say he's a senior this year.
In high school?
Yes.
Okay.
Next year, it depends on what the NBA does. Now, the NBA might say to themselves, well, we're going to go ahead and change that rule because that had been in the talks. They might go back to letting high school players come straight to the pros.
They do it for 1 year and let him come in and then change it back. Oh, no, that's actually a bad idea. We probably shouldn't have done that. Let's go back. Well, you got your player. Oh, no. It didn't work out. What do you mean it didn't work out? He scored 30 points last night.
So they were because they've been talking about that for a few years, but they just hadn't done it. And the reason why they weren't doing it is because the quality of play was garbage. If you're letting these guys come in from high school, and look, I get it. If you're a high school player, you have a chance to go straight to the pros. Big payday for you, your money. But the quality of play on the court was just not that good. So I guess the NBA said to themselves, we're going to go ahead and make that rule the one and done thing. You have to play at least a year in college. And now, go ahead.
I was going to say, which makes sense, but I would say, too, you got to have a 2-year degree before you play here. That's what I would say. You got to have an associate's before we even look at you.
I mean, and then because look, Patrick, people ain't worried about education like that, and I know it. Look, and I know you and I, we're big on education, definitely big on going to school and getting that. People just don't look at it that way, man. They're about the money. They are about trying to get this payday, and the NBA, they're man.
And now with social media, I mean, look.
Yeah.
you can go and play basketball. Oh, I broke my leg. Well, it's all right. And my pants is a tripod, so I'll just pull that out and make another $100,000 a month on Instagram.
And look, and NIL. And so I think what NIL will do is that will get people to stay in college a little bit more, especially if you're thinking about going to the draft and you aren't high. You're not high on the draft board. But you say, well, I'm going to go ahead and come out because I got to try to stick this out. And I mean, I got to try to see if I can get this payday real quick. Well, now with NIL, you can get you a deal with your local restaurant or car dealership, local luggage shop, or whatever it is.
Make your own shirt.
Yeah.
You see what Stetson Bennett did?
What'd he do?
After his phone number got leaked before the Tennessee game.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I remember that.
And I was doing that during a touchdown that he made. Well, after the game, he put out a shirt that was like Georgia versus Tennessee, put the score down. He was like, call me now or something like that on his shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, look, take advantage. That's a great idea. Take advantage and let's see if it sells. And look, let's say you get $500,000. Bro, that's worth it to me. Oh, good. $1,000, good. Whatever. Oh, I don't like the idea that you made a shirt. Well, you know what? I like the fact that I got $500,000. People say money doesn't buy happiness. Well, you know what? This jet ski made me really happy. It's all good.
So Patrick, we're still waiting on the rankings because apparently that game between Kentucky and Michigan State is going to overtime. So,
really?
Yes, it's in overtime right now, man. They had just started overtime in that game. So, yeah, you get some more bonus Bofa action from us.
And that's that State Farm Classic.
Yes, yeah. And Duke and Kansas will play in the next game. I guess those 4 teams, Kentucky, Michigan State, Kansas, and Duke, they have this partnership for that classic. So every year they meet in some way, shape, or form. So they just rotate the teams out. And I guess this year it's Kentucky, Michigan State, and Kansas, and Duke. And look, ESPN is gonna, they're gonna milk all that out. So they will have their half-hour show with the rankings. They're gonna be there. So.
I know, and we're not gonna find out for another 10 minutes. And
yeah. I mean,
it's like, wrap it up. Come on, just put the teams out there and let us know.
Right. No, man. Made for TV, man. Entertainment. Remember, man. Hot take.
Clickbait. And it's working because I keep looking at it going, come on, click. I'm like,
no, that game's in overtime.
And now here we are in overtime. So we're probably not going to get to the rankings until, 10 o'clock Eastern?
Yep. Yeah, man. Yes. So just more bonus Bofa.
I know, right? Here we are at an hour and 20 minutes. Hey, look, in it to win it, baby.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Might as well get used to it.
That's
you don't
right.
like us talking? Sorry. Hey, right. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, I'm not really caring. It's true. It's just like, hey, you lucky you get to hear us.
Yeah. Get used to it.
Oh man. So you was talking about some of the dumpster fires in the NBA. Said the Lakers you mentioned. The Nets. There's another dumpster fire there. I mean, it's a race to see who's the most poisonous team.
I know. It's like who has the worst cancer in the team?
Yeah.
And LeBron's like, it's either I'm the best or I'm the worst. It's the way it is. And we're like, LeBron.
Hey, Patrick. I have to tell you this, man. So I thought about you, man, because of course LeBron is in these AT&T commercials.
Oh God, I turn them every time.
And I said, oh, Patrick might get rid of AT&T because LeBron is on commercials.
I have been thinking about it. It's just they're running really hard for me right now. Well, hey, plus I just got AARP. And they give me a discount on top of my military, so it's hard to do it, you know what I'm saying? But man, when he goes, every iPhone, and she's like, every iPhone, and he goes, my job here is done. I was like, I just punch you in the freaking throat, dude. You ain't done crap. I mean, your commercials are just like your game on the court. You ain't done crap. And you're like, my job is done. What did you do?
I just thought it was so funny because I said, "Oh, I think Patrick might drop AT&T because of this."
It has been on my mind, I tell you.
Another thought I had was, why is LeBron James in the AT&T commercial? Like you're just money grabbing, dude.
Why are you here?
You're like, what is do you have an AT&T phone?
No, he's probably on Google. He's like probably on Google Fi.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you're on T-Mobile. Why are you on? You know, and then it's the worst line of the year. This is the worst line of the year, and it comes from Lily, and she goes, "Are you coming after my job?" And I'm like, oh.
Actually, so that part I thought it was funny because it's like why?
Because he probably is.
Why are you there? Yeah, that's what I was like.
Because he probably is. He's like, no, I got somebody that's much better than you. Who? I don't know, but I'll find somebody that can coach this better than you're doing. Coach it? What? I don't know, but my job is done. Boy. I was like. I did it, but every time I see it, I'm like, what did you do? Like, really? You're sitting here clicking your pen going, my job is done. I'm like, what did you do? You argued with him on something that was already done before you even got
yeah.
I was like, now you're just spreading your cancer to AT&T.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you thought about me on that.
I just all I can think of was you. And you know where I heard that line from? So Jimmy Kimmel, he had Kobe Bryant on the show one day, and
one of my favorite interviews, if it's the same one I'm thinking of.
It might be, man, because so they showed Kobe a clip of all them Lakers players. He had Jeremy Lin and Nick Young and all them over here talking about, yeah, we in the building, and it was their 5th win in 20-something games. And so they said they were still 5-15 for the season or whatever the record was.
Oh, and he going on that one.
Yes, we in the building. He said,
oh, yeah.
he said Jeremy Lin and Nick Young, they're like, yeah, we in the building. We doing our thing. And Kobe just had this look at Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel was rolling. Just rolling. And he said, all I could think of was you. That was me, man. When I saw that AT&T commercial with LeBron in there, I said, oh, all I could think of is Patrick.
Dude, I remember my very first reaction watching it. I remember it. I was sitting there I was watching the Georgia game, very, very content with where, everything was going, right? And then it shows Lily, and I was like, oh, another AT&T commercial. And then it showed LeBron, I went. and I started squinting my eyes. I remember he was like, why is he there? And then he clicked his pen and he said, my job here is done. I was like,
what did you do?
What did you do? I'm like, what did you do? I was like, why are you here? And I'm like, and then she goes, are you out to get my job? And I was like,
you vomited?
Yeah. Yeah, he's after your job. He's after everybody's job. Did you not see what he did in Cleveland?
Oh my gosh.
Dude. But yeah, I was like, what is he here for? Like, why do you even exist right now?
I was crying. I was crying, laughing. You should have seen me. I almost texted you on the spot. Like, hey man, have you seen this AT&T commercial?
Oh, if you would have, dude, we would have had a very lengthy conversation. As soon as you said that, I'm in rant mode.
Oh my God.
I'm definitely in rant mode at that point.
Oh, Patrick. All right, man. Here's another money grab. We got to go to one of our.
Have they released them yet?
No.
Have they released it?
The game's still being played. They got 32 seconds left in overtime. Kentucky's up 70-69. They got the World Cup starting this weekend. FIFA, that bad boy's in Qatar. You know the World Cup is normally in the summer, but they had to move it to November, December because of how hot it gets in Qatar, and it's Qatar, and so I'm like, why are we putting this in Qatar?
It's gonna be 100 degrees plus, no matter what time of the year it is.
But you know it's a money grab. It's FIFA, man. It's FIFA. Like, oh, wait a minute, we hold this bad boy in the Middle East. All that, dude, all that oil money. You know,
they're good. And most corrupt company. Don't get me started on corrupt companies,
dude. So about that though, Patrick. So the old dude, who used to be in charge of FIFA, Sepp Blatter. You remember? He had the nerve to do an interview and say, "Well, putting it in Qatar was probably a mistake." What, dude? You're the one who drove that train. You're gonna say that?
Probably.
You drove that train.
Yeah.
You went to put it in Qatar. You saw that oil money. That's why dudes was rolling up on the stage throwing Monopoly money at him on that one press conference.
Bro, he is driving down the road, and he comes to the fork in the road. It says FIFA at Qatar,
yeah,
FIFA in Spain, and he goes
Qatar, yeah.
He's like, ooh, this would be good. Wait, what does Qatar have?
Oil money.
Qatar has oil.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you expect? I mean, yeah, everybody is like cruising, and all of a sudden he does this, and everybody's on this side of the bus going, "Whoa, what happened? We're going to Qatar!" And they're all going, "It's oil money!"
Oh my gosh! Yeah, man. So this bad boy is starting. I'm crying right now. This bad boy is starting Sunday. Yeah, so today's the 15th. Yeah, it's supposed to start on the 20th. Definitely interesting timing because you still have football going on. So what I would like to see is how the ratings are here in this country. Now in the world, they're going to be all about it because soccer is by far the world's most popular sport anyway. So they're going to be all about it. But in this country, you got the NFL, you have college going. I'll just be interested to see how the ratings are. And nowadays, Patrick, it's just weird with ratings because so many people can stream it now and watch it on their phones or the computers. And a lot of the rating systems, they don't account for that. So I would be interested to see what I guess it's the Nielsen ratings, what they say. But again, they normally just account for television ratings.
Well, I think they account for the three major streamings like Hulu, Sling TV, and YouTube TV now. I could be wrong about that.
Hey, man, you're the technical savvy person, so I can go to you.
I want to say that they have started accounting for that, but I mean, like I said, I could be wrong about it because those are major streaming. And the way all of those are paid out now is pretty much just like cable TV now. I mean, I have Hulu, and I can tell you, it's a monthly charge every month to have it. And if they go up again, I'm going to cut them off, and I'm not going to have it anymore. It's just the same as network TV, just half the price. literally half the price.
You know, and to me, you have to change that. Like you kind of have to get with those.
Bro, we might have to do it later.
It was another overtime.
It's the end of overtime, 71-71.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. Well, how much later do you have?
Not much. My grandma was probably about ready to go to bed.
Dang, man. Double
of course, this game is going to do this. Though.
Of course. You know, and I was thinking that too. Right when we were getting ready to go on the air, I said, you know what?
It had all the potential to it.
Yep. This bad boy might go to overtime. So, I mean, I guess we'll just let me know, and I guess we can just stay on for as long as you can. But if not, then hey, we'll have to wrap the show up. You know what? I almost forgot we were still live.
You know what? I did too until I looked down at that score, and then I happened to look up, and I was like, oh crap, you are still live.
Yeah, we're still live.
Because I have said a few choice words that I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then I looked up and I was like, oh,
We're still live.
We're still live. I'm probably should watch it a little bit. No, I'm gonna say she's probably getting ready.
All right. Well, with that, everybody, that concludes this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. Y'all make sure y'all go visit the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page, or not the likes, excuse me, follow the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. So other than that, I guess we will talk about these rankings some other day. Y'all can thank the Kentucky-Michigan State game for that.
It's a good game. Keep watching.
It is a very good game going into double overtime right now. So I guess with that, everybody take care. Have a great rest of the week. We will dive into these rankings next week, and then I guess assuming there aren't any more college basketball games at this time slot, then we'll get a fresh new set of rankings. So everybody take care. Everybody enjoy themselves, enjoy the games, and we will talk to you next week.